Hi everybody, Sanibonani, namukelekile on my channel. Igama lami nguNtando Mdletshe, and on this channel sifunde iy'ncwadi zethu zesiZulu bese sidiscussa izinto esizifundayo kule y'ncwadi lezi that we can relate to in life. We also talk about our personal experiences and personal stories. We share them for the sole reason yokuthi sifundisane, and also just sinikane ithemba, because sometimes when you go through something in your life, you think you're the only person that goes through that, and ucabanga ukuthi it's the end of the world. But mawuzwa iy'tori zabanye abantu, other people's experiences, you learn from them, and uzibone ukuthi you're not the only one going through something. As you know, okay, recently I told the story of how I became a special needs mom. And after that, because of the questions that I was getting from people and certain comments that were being made by people, I made another video that talked about um, the things that you should not say or do to a special needs mom. And this is an extension of that, because when you because I raised that topic, I mean, a lot of people know I have a child with a disability, but I guess people were not free enough to ask me questions or make certain comments. So people make comments, and then as they make comments, it raises certain things in me, and I feel like, okay, let me make a video about this so people can learn more. Nami I'm learning what, and even ama-comments abantu nama-reactions abantu, I shouldn't take them so personally, because sometimes it's just lack of education on their part, because they are not dealing with the situation where they have people with disabilities in their lives. So it's easy for them to not take the time to educate themselves. And so angibasola abantu, but I just wanted to take this time because people have said something about the word special needs. And I feel like people don't understand, where does it come from? Why do we refer to these children as special needs, our children as special needs, um, instead of saying kids with disabilities? Me personally, I prefer to say my child is a special needs child when it's necessary for me to do so. Like for an example, when I'm speaking here, because I want to refer to to that situation, then I will say she is a special needs child. But other than that, if it has nothing to do with her condition, I speak about her like I speak about any other children. If I'm speaking about Rusipo, I'm speaking about Rusipo. But if let's say I'm looking for a school, I'm gonna say I have a special needs child, and what are her needs? They would ask me, and then I would say these are her special needs. So, um, but I feel like people don't understand what that word special needs come from. So personally, I wanted to say first that I prefer the special needs term rather than a child with disability. Not that there's anything wrong with saying my child has a disability, because she does have these certain disabilities, but it just hits me different when I say a child with a disability. For some reason, um, it affects my feelings. It just has, it's like a trigger for me when you say she's a child with a disability. So I prefer the term a child with special needs. Also, only use that term only when it's necessary for me to use that term. If I'm just saying I was spending a weekend with my baby this weekend, then I'm gonna say I was spending a weekend with my baby. I'm not gonna say I was spending a weekend with my special needs baby. It's not necessary for me to say that all the time. But that is a term that I prefer. But also, listening to people, I feel like some people don't understand where that special needs term come from, and so in the way that they use it as if it comes from a condescending a, a term, like, when you're just being condescending, that she's special, that child is special, you know that's not where the term comes from. So I'm going to explain where it comes from, and how it helps a person. If you're saying my child is special needs, what information that term is supposed to give the next person? What are the things that the next person you're trying to get the next person to think about when you say the term special needs? You're not saying special as in she's special, like she's special. We don't want to say she's disabled, so we're just gonna say she's special. No, it doesn't come from that. This is the reason. I hope I explain it in a way that people understand it. Okay, like when you have a child, just any child, when you have a child, it's your responsibility as a parent to make sure that you clothe them, you provide them with clothing, you provide them with food, like you feed them, um, you provide them with shelter, you provide them with schooling, you provide them with emotional support as a mom for any child. Those are the things that you are obligated to provide for your child. It's a child's right to get those things. They are fed, they're clothed, they go to school, they are emotional supported, they have a shelter. That's those are the needs of any child, whether they have a disability or no disability. Those are the needs for every other child. But for children that have certain medical conditions, they have other needs that other children that do not have medical conditions don't need. So over and above the basic needs that all the other children need, which is clothing, shelter, food, all of that, they need something more. So over and above the basic needs, they have special needs. So that's where the word special comes from. So when I say, when if I'm in the hospital and I say I have a special needs child, the medical staff, they know. Then over and above, it's not like any other child. There's other, maybe the child is on a wheelchair, maybe the child is not really on a wheelchair, but there's certain things that they need, like they're not going to be able to be in a queue for a long time because of the certain condition that the child has. So I want to give you an example. I can never really, because I said even in my other video that no two children, even when they have the same medical condition, would be affected the same, especially with CP kids, because my child has CP, so I'm not experiencing other conditions. So there's no way that I can count all the needs that they have in this video, but I'm just gonna give you the examples. One is most children have medic equipment that they need. There's the wheelchairs that they need. Some children use foot splints. Uh, some children use crutches. Some children you need a bath chair if your child cannot sit in the bath on their own. You need a standing frame. Some children need walkers. Some children need like even with the wheelchairs, some they need manual wheelchairs, some they need automated wheelchairs. And also in the way that the wheelchair is designed, it's always designed based on the condition of a child. For an example, a wheelchair, there's basic wheelchairs where you can just go right now to, maybe you hurt your foot, you can't walk, you can go to Discam and pay 1,500 and just get the basic wheelchair. But wheelchairs can range from that 1,500 to like 45,000, depending on the need of the child or the person that has the disability or that has that medical condition. So there's a range of medical equipment that they need. And then on top of that, there is education. When it comes to education, a lot of children with certain medical conditions cannot just go. I can't just go to the closest school that we have where we live, and my child can go to that school. They will have no idea what to do with her. So I have to look for a school that accommodates her condition. Even with schools that are meant for kids with special needs, even those schools, it's not all of them that can take. There's schools that take children that have special needs, but that are potty trained. So if your child is on a NAP, cannot go to that school. So you have to look for a school that accommodates your children's need. So that is a special need, because for any other parent, they can just go to a nearest school and go and register their child, and here and there is they have a school there. I do not have that option if I have a special needs. Her needs are a little bit more than that when it comes to me getting her an education. In fact, when my child was still at school, right now she's not at school because with COVID, she was out of school because of COVID, but we just haven't taken her back. We haven't seen the need to rush and take her back to school. But there was a time when she would actually go with a caretaker to school. So she needed somebody there at school with her, sits there with her until the end of the day, and then she comes back. On top of that, there's medical needs like she needs therapy. There's kids that need speech therapy, they need physiotherapy, they need to now and then to see occupational therapy. There's a whole range of therapists that they need to see on a regular basis, which other kids don't need to see. Maybe your child will see a physiotherapist once when they're sick or they break their foot and a doctor recommends that they see a physiotherapy that one. But our children have to go to these appointments all the time. Also, on top of that, there's medication that they take, which not only affects their bodies, but also just their teeth, for an example. So your child might not need you to pay that much attention to their teeth as much as mine is because she takes certain medication that might actually affect her teeth. So that is a special needs. And then there is the fact that children with certain medical conditions need care. And as parents, sometimes we have to work, even when you don't have to work. Sometimes because they grow, they become bigger, and they become bigger with their condition. They still have a condition that they had when they were smaller, but they're becoming bigger. So as a parent, you need a full-time care. You need somebody to help you with her or with him all the time. Whereas the other parent might not, because if the child is now 12, 13 years old, they might not need a nanny for a child that is 13 years old. But I'm always going to need somebody to help me take care of it because of a condition. That is a special need. So that's what we are referring to when we say there is a special need. It is the child is a special needs child. Also, emotional support because our children their understanding is different depending on the condition. And also, even if mentally she's not affected much, but physically she is affected, uh, being a child growing up having a physical disability, you need a lot of emotional support because as they grow they realize that they're different. I realize that my daughter gets frustrated sometimes, like you'll be thinking she's been sitting on a wheelchair for longer, so you're taking her from a wheelchair to the bed and she gets upset. She doesn't want to, sometimes she doesn't want to sit on the chair, she doesn't want to sit, or she doesn't want to lie on the bed, she doesn't want to be on a standing front. It's like she's just sick of everything. She wants to do something different, but she can't. So, as a parent, there's more that is required from you emotionally to support your child. So, even for you, it takes a lot to support the child. So, that is what we are referring to, guys, when we say a child has special needs. We're not saying special as in special. Yes, our kids are special, but that's not the special we're talking about. We're saying the child has special needs because there is more that they need compared to other children that don't have certain medical condition. So when a parent communicates to you that I have a special needs child, what they're trying to tell you is that over and above just me being a mother, there are other things that I have to provide for my child that are not required from other parents who do not have certain who do not have kids who have certain medical conditions. So I hope that you guys understand now what the term special needs mean. The questions, guys, are welcome. You can ask me any kind of question as a special needs ma'am. If I don't know, I will say that I don't know. I can only share my experiences from what I have experienced, but it's from me raising a child that has one medical condition. There's a range of other conditions. So it's always good to learn so that you know how to treat people around you, and you know you understand what people are dealing with around you so that you are able to support Thank you so much for watching my video. Ningakhohlwa subscribe to my channel and just also like my videos and share them with your friends so bezo subscribe. Phela we do wanna get to that 1,000 subscribers, eh? Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you on my next video. Thank you so much.